How's it going, everybody? International Master Daniel Rensch here, continuing our series on the type of tactics you need to know. The 5 fork themes, fork patterns that we have organized for you are knight forks, pretty obviously, pawn forks, double attacks, which are classified as forks, but by pieces other than the knight and the pawn, so double attack forks. Then we have something I like to call tempo forks, the recognition of a tempo square you can move to either execute a fork after that, or one that immediately forks something. And then finally, loose squares and pieces forks, recognition of weak squares and loose pieces, and how you might apply a double attack to 2 at once, or to use them on your way to an attack. So again, you can see the 5 types of fork themes we'll be learning in this series here. Knight forks, pawn forks, double attack, tempo forks, and loose pieces and squares forks. Let's move on to the first position. Of course, the most common type of knight fork you would be aware of is a fork where a knight attacks either a king and a queen or a queen and a rook. These are the royal forks, the family forks, because we are forking the most powerful pieces on the board. This one, of course, comes from the fried liver opening with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and after bishop c4, knight f6, we have the 2 knights with knight to g5. d5 would be the more traditional fried liver, but in this game, we're playing bishop to c5 just to highlight exactly what a fork is, as we did in the first video where we showed a very, very basic version of a fork. You can use your imagination to put the king on d6 or g5 or anywhere else where you might just imagine what it looks like when a knight is having one of those rare opportunities to fork all 3 of the most valuable pieces at once. The fried liver is most easily stopped, for those of you wondering, by challenging the center with d5, which closes the diagonal, after which black can play both knight a5 and knight to d4 as interesting and dynamic moves. Our first position, masters, you have 15 seconds. Experts, you have less than a minute. 1600 to 2000, you should have about a minute, only need about a minute. 1200 to 1600 shouldn't need more than a few minutes, maybe let's say 3 minutes for the clock. And below that, you can have 5 minutes. This is a recognition of an opportunity to create a fork. We're continuing along the theme of a knight fork. Assuming you have paused the video and we are ready to know the answer, here we go. Black plays the move rook takes e5, of course, removing the knight. You would love to just play this fork right away, but you'll be captured by the only piece capable of competing with a knight's forking ability, another knight. So we remove that knight, and at the same time apply an attraction tactic, if you will, that brings the rook onto the forkable square. Knight to f3 check, followed by winning material. So, in quick review, we'll leave this final position up as we bring up the 5 bullet points here of what are the types of forks we learned. Knight forks, of course, pawn forks. We talked about double attack, the traditional attacking 2 things at once with the queen or rook or bishop. Tempo forks, this sort of art of using a threat, gaining a tempo so that then you can deliver a fork, especially when it's not possible before that. Or in some cases, using a tempo square to actually be giving a double attack that might improve your position, as we saw with the queen coming to e5. And then finally, just a recognition of loose and vulnerable pieces, and that's really what tactics are all about. I know that some people might say, well, isn't it all kind of the same theme? You're right. I mean, we're talking about a fork, and a fork essentially is a double attack, attacking 2 pieces at once. So every single theme we look at is going to have ties to the other in the sense that why do we even call a knight a fork and a queen a double attack? I don't know. It's really the same type of pattern. The ultimate goal is that we're either winning material or improving our position significantly by a double attack, as we've seen in all of them. What we're trying to do here is just give you guys some themes to sort of understand that if it's not obvious to you where a fork is or what the best opportunity is for a double attack, maybe this video and seeing how it was sort of broken down, that we can look to gain a tempo. Maybe we just, okay, I don't see an opportunity for a tactic. Have I considered all the ways to take advantage of the loose or vulnerable pieces? These are the thought processes you would have in your approach, and hopefully you'll remember what the different things are that you can look for when executing a fork and a pin, and as well as a lot of the other videos to come. And I love you all very, very much, and go ahead and go get to work. See you around on Chess.com, everybody.